Katie. Welcome to season 11 of my Island Designer series. This season we are doing Ancient Jungle, a Mesoamerican expedition. Let's take a look at the villagers that I have lined up for this island. You can see me, I'm Professor Isel, and then we have Drift, Phoebe, Shari, Flip, Bangle, Alfonso, Roswell, Clay, Jitters, and Annabelle. Thank you to everybody over on Twitch during stream who helped me pick out the villagers. They've changed a little bit as I finished doing all the villager hunting, but I love who we came up with for the island. I got the island all the way up to 3 stars and have started doing some organizing and terraforming. All this red here is where I've decided I want the elevation to come up. I need to terraform cliffs up into the space wherever there is red. And then over here you can see the orange. That's everywhere I want to put a path. The path really needs to wind in kind of a weird, non-structured direction all the way through the villager houses and stuff over here, but I do want it to look intentional and a little bit old. My plan is to put a really fun, sweet little community that settles into the bottom right corner of the island if you were to look on the map. And I want all the houses to be a little bit random at different angles, but generally closer to this area, although I think a couple of them might be in other areas of the island because it's fun for theme. We are taking inspiration on a lot of the Mesoamerican and South American cultures that are beautiful ancient people. That means we're going to take inspiration from the Mayan, the Olmec, the Incan, all of those different cultures. The goal is to create our own ancient culture here that we are going to tour and explore, and my little character, Professor Isel, is definitely the expert on the island. She is fully educated in everything you need to know about archaeology and anthropology, and she is here to teach everyone who comes to visit this beautiful ancient site. When we travel up from that bottom corner with all the beautiful community houses, we are going to move into the area with all of the ancient sites, and the path is going to move through the island, but there is one area over here in the top right corner where all the research is going to happen. We're going to add in a few new students who are here to help with the research so that there are extra tents in this area and put together the most amazing archaeological site for all of the learning and all the research that happens on the island. If you follow the path up from the research area, there are a bunch of beautiful sites that I've set aside to be ancient wonders, different types and different styles of ancient sites that you can visit as you travel along the path through the island. Halfway through the path as we follow around the island is going to be the absolute most beautiful, huge step pyramid. It's going to be a classic Mayan style pyramid. You can see here where I'm standing on the map that I want it to take up most of the top left of the island. I haven't completely decided how I'm going to decorate it, but I have a few ideas of some new items to use in different ways, and I'm really excited to get that big beautiful pyramid designed. The rest of the space moving down the left side of the island here is going to be put together in a really dense jungle, and I want to put a canopy together so that we're walking along these big beautiful wood bridges that follow down a path. As you can see, the area is completely covered in flowers. This is where I've been planting, breeding, watering, and creating as many flowers as I can think of that I really want for the island. The color palette is going to be brown and green with lots of red, yellow, and orange pops of color. And I want to use a ton of palm trees that are absolutely in the middle of the island. Phoebe's house is still separate because she has a volcano-themed house, and I think it could be really cool to add a volcano somewhere on the island and put her house nearby, but I haven't quite figured out where, so that's part of the plan we'll just journey through. To finish getting the island ready for decorations, I've pulled up a bunch of the land, finished the terraforming, and now I'm doing a lot of waterscaping. The jungle is a really wet place, and in a lot of ways, it's almost like an overgrown swamp. So I want to have a lot of water in and out of every single area of the island, and that means little ponds and waterfalls. In addition, the big main river that runs all the way through the middle of the island, I don't want it to just be a really standard 3 spaces wide. I want it to really grow and expand. Think about little branches, little canals that kind of pull and grow off of the big main river. I finished all the terraforming and I can't wait to show you guys what this map looks like now. Check out the river and the water on the island. Obviously it's not done. There'll be a lot more over on the left side, but look how it all pulls out and snakes around, and I'm just really happy with how it came out. I also spent a lot of time looking through custom designs and patterns to figure out what kind of path I wanted to use. Look at this area. I found a little dirt path that had some darker splotches to it and a pretty little yellow flower and all the things that I've been thinking of for the jungle. You can see the weeds and the plants and just a huge variety of flowers and things that mix in to make a little bit of this jungle look. And if I show you the custom patterns here, you can see the ones that I'm using. And in addition to regular path and patterns on the ground, I really want to put together some patterns, and I've used a collection of patterns that work as a base underneath the objects that are going on the ground, so everything is really cohesive. If I pull the mum cushion out of the way here, for example, you'll see what one of those paths are. Quite a few of the items have these patterns underneath them. I really like the way that it connects them, and I do recommend doing this if you're going to be placing a lot of objects on the ground. It gives them that little extra, just something more so that it really looks complete. Look how cool the hyacinth lamp is if you put it down on top of the little fern pattern. They just go well together, and I'm really excited about this idea of putting patterns and items together on the island. I've got a ton of path that I need to put down now, so I think it's time that we get around to it. For the town area, I picked a second path. It's a little bit of a broken up brick path that has kind of a cobbled look to it, and I'm going to run this all the way through the villager houses and down towards the very start of the island. This spot that I'm walking around here is going to be the transition from the town area to the path, the expedition path that goes into the jungle. So I think maybe something like this beautiful stone rock. I'm just going to push it into place. Yeah, I really like the way that it gives it kind of an entry type of a look, so I think that's going to be really good, and we'll put a few other decorations down here on the other side of it. The last custom pattern path that I picked out is a little bit spread on the island right now because it took the place of one of the spaces I was using, but I just want to pop in here and show you. So you have the dirt path, the stone, and then this really old cobblestone path. I like the way that the pieces are super random. They're not actually meant to go fully, entirely across the whole space. They're broken up because they're old, and I'm going to use this one in a lot of the ancient sites. It'll kind of be the base or the old stone platform to some of the things that we're putting together. So it's kind of a path and kind of decoration all mixed up in one. I picked out a fourth path to be part of the entryway. Over here by the airport and resident services is where everybody will get off the plane and prepare to see the beautiful island with all of its ancient sites. This is meant to be a visitor center, the entryway into the rest of the island. I'm standing in the entryway now, and with most of the pathing done, at least on the right half of the island, I think it's time for us to really start decorating. And I can't think of any better place to start than the start of the expedition when we really are at the airport getting ready to see the island. I put a brand new flag in place, which I love, and I think it's time. Let's jump into some official island designing for this jungle. Putting the welcome area together for this island was really fun. I was able to use a lot of the new items like this beautiful wall and kind of put together a backdrop for everything. The yellow color was exactly what I needed with the green roof on it. It just looked like a jungle to me. Over here in front of resident services, I put down a fossil. Even though we are focused mostly on the human cultural heritage, there is a lot of archaeology on the island too, so I thought it would be cool if there was a statue in the welcome area. I wanted to get some light and a lot of good decorations so that this area looked intentional, but I also wanted it to have a little bit of a southwestern type of a feel to it, kind of a Mexican influence, at least in a few places. My main house is here in the middle, and I chose a really unique design for it. It is one of the designs that is, I think, called Zen, so it has a lot of an Asian flair to it. But I liked the way that it looked like a hut and also like a business, like it could be an intentional professional space. So even though the style wouldn't go with it, you think, I actually think it goes really well. I actually ended up changing the exterior of my house 3 times until I figured out the design that I was looking for. Sometimes you just have to experiment a little, but I really love, if you see right in front of it, are a couple of signs. The first one has the visitor center, kind of a really pretty custom pattern on it, and the other one has a map of the island. Over here on the beach is kind of a different area. It's part of the welcome area, but it's going to be the concession area and all the food kind of booths, and I want a food truck down here with some tables and chairs. Anywhere that is kind of a tourist attraction is definitely going to have food areas for people to eat and spend money, so I started putting together a wood path. Originally, I put down one of the vertical and one horizontal path over here to try and decide which one I wanted better, and I kind of liked them back and forth. It created a really unique type of space to have the floor tiles look like they were really intentionally placed, and then after I had all the wood down, I started putting the rest of the decorations in the area. The food truck has been customized with a pattern, and I really like all of the different food just kind of setting out. It's fun to have so much food in the game. We didn't have it when the game first came out, so it's really neat now. All the food are from dishes that I created over on my main island and brought them over. It has a lot of time to move the items from one of my switches over to the second. In the end, it's definitely worth it because I have a lot more items over here, and the little food concession area really comes together cute. I like the way it spaces out. I think this area is a really good reminder when you first get off of the airplane, or if you wake up from a Dream Island address here at Resident Services, that this is actually a tourist attraction that we're putting together, an intentionally modern space that showcases the ancient items. The very last part, after all the decorations are in place, is to put the greenery in place. It is a jungle after all. So I filled my pocket full of trees and flowers, and I start going around the edges of everything we put down. The greenery for this island is mostly going to be a combination of the regular oak trees, bamboo here and there, but not too much, and lots of the palm trees. So you have to put a little sand down to put them down on the rest of the island. And then you can see I'm layering a lot of different custom patterns and some of the same items I was talking about earlier, like the mum cushion and the hyacinth lamp. I'm really lucky that the tropical feel works with a lot of the flowers that we have, so the decorations can be very three-dimensional with lots of green flowers standing up. Around this whole area is going to be some good forest decorations, so I've got a cliff that I need to cover here, and also the cliff all that goes along the very back of my house. So a lot of green and a lot of patterns to put down. I'm going to finish this up and then I'll show you the final area. The entrance and welcome area of my jungle island's complete. I'm walking off the airport here, and you can see already it has that beautiful tourism feel to it with the ATM machine and the concession stands and some really good information signs. I really love the way that the map came together. It was kind of a fun custom design to create a really eclectic looking map, but it follows the design of the island really well, and I may use it in a few places. Down here you can see that the concession area is also adorable. It has a lot of bright colors, which I really wanted, but mixed in with that natural kind of jungly vibe. It's a perfect combination and a really different style than a lot of the designs I've done on islands before, so it feels really fun to put everything together. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you're watching and you liked what you saw, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you liked about what we did today. It really helps my channel to grow, and I'm so grateful for all of you who've been following my channel. I hope you found something useful here and continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.